Brought to you by CRY HAVOC.
I've been on this mission since 1970. The mission isn't complete. I'm still running it. I don't know how many missions I ran when I was in Vietnam. I would say somewhere between 40 and 50 missions. I ran 7 SOG missions. I was successful on all my missions except for the one. My name is James Jones Shorten. I served 20 years in the military with the Navy, the Army Special Forces as a Green Beret and MACV-SOG team leader, and the Air Force Pararescue as a PJ. I am retired from the military after 20 years and went on to school to become a doctor, a radiologist. As early as 10 years old, I was fascinated with cameras and film and movies, and I wanted to document my life because I wanted a life of adventure and I wanted to have it all together. Well, I had no clue where Vietnam was or what was going on, but it sounded very adventurous, like, man, fighting a war in this foreign country, tropics, the palm trees. So I wanted to go. We had a mission come down where there was a jet crash. It happened in Cambodia, and it was an F-4 jet. He was dropping a bomb on a bridge. He came up on the Ho Chi Minh Trail, hit the first hill. When he hit the first hill, the engines left the fuselage, bounced off to the second hill, went through it, and landed on the third hill. They sent the PJs in at first, but they couldn't get near the ground. Just way too much enemy. What they did is said, we want you to go in tomorrow. So we're flying over, and I'm coming in on the first chopper, and I'm coming down. Soot is blowing all over the place from the flame. And I'm looking down, and I see this bridge. I see the Ho Chi Minh Trail, and all of the bamboo and the trees they tied them together over the road, so you couldn't see the road. So we land, and I sit there and I just wait. I'm waiting for the sticks to drop, and I'm waiting for my ears to pop so I can hear and see what's going on. So we start walking down a little bit further. All of a sudden I'm seeing bunkers. I go over to the bunkers and I can see some CBU in there, it's a cluster bomb unit. Then I start moving a little bit further, and all of a sudden I see this graveyard. Over the fence on the opening, there's a big communist star there. And I'm going, where the heck am I? So I start walking a little bit further and I see this meeting room. It's about, 20 by 20 on stilts. This big room. What the heck? I go up and we look inside, there's nothing in there, and I'm looking around the trees and everything. Start seeing all kinds of pieces of the jet all over the place. I find a boot with a foot in it. We put that in the rucksack. As I'm almost to the crest of the second hill, all of a sudden I'm hearing these trucks coming down the road. All of a sudden, gunships are firing like miniguns and everything, and the miniguns firing over your head is scary. So I get on the horn, I go, what's going on? He goes, you got 6 truckloads of enemy, a bunch of troops running behind it, you got 2 armored cars and they're coming after you. I thought, oh, great. I get up on the top, we found all these hooches up there, but where the jet went through, it wiped out some hooches. We go through, we find uniforms, pith helmets, got all the stuff, and we just stuffed it in the rucksack. Well, so then the pilot says, we got to get you out of there. I said, man, I'm not on the third hill yet. He goes, look, if we don't get you out of there, you're going to have to spend the night. We're running out of fuel, running out of ammo, and we got a storm coming in. I said, okay, come in and get us out, because I had to get my team out of there. We would have never made it. The first chopper comes in, and they got them out of there. The next ship's coming in, and I'm seeing the enemy. You can hear them coming up through the bushes, and we're getting ready to battle it out with them. All of a sudden, one of the guys gets an RPG off. It hits off to the side. The chopper comes in. I said, I want a gunship on both sides of the chopper. And I want them shooting into the jungle behind us and in front of us to keep any enemy down the best you can. The gunner's coming in, and the gunner is shooting down into the bushes, and we're shooting at the bushes. I don't know how many enemies are dropping, but they're like dropping like flies. As we hook on the ladder and this chopper's starting to lift up, all of a sudden I hear this boom like that, and I'm sitting there going, oh no. I'm waiting for the chopper to fall down on top of me. I thought he got hit with an RPG, and that was it. But what actually happened was the gunner was shooting so crazy in there to try to keep everything down that his rotor hit a tree, and he knocked the ends of his rotor off. As we were leaving, we flew over. I could see the jet over there, and then I looked down. I could see the trucks on the road, and I told the pilot, he says, you see the ground? And he goes, yeah. I said, you see the squares? He goes, yeah. I said, it's a village or something. As I was being pulled out on that mission, I looked over and saw the jet, and I knew I failed at getting those bodies out of there. I failed at it, and it always bothered me. When I got back to the base, the Cobra 83 pilots were there. They were the other jet. And I had to tell them, I said, there's no way somebody could have lived through that. The engines left the fuselage. It was a huge ball of flame. And they were both in tears. But I had no choice. I had to get my team out. There was no way 7 people are going to hold off 1,000 enemy. We had 350 that we knew of. We don't know how many were coming from behind in the jungles coming towards us. You're just not going to make it. When I came back to the United States after being discharged, I went to school to become a radiologist. You know, I finished the school, all my training, my residency, and what have you. One day I was talking to a guy named Harlow Short. He was a medic when I was on the A-team. I told Harlow, I want to go back. I'd like to go to that site and see what I can do. And he says, well, let's go. I took 3 months off, and I flew back to Phnom Penh, Cambodia. I met Harlow at Phnom Penh, and that night we got together with DPAA. They said they didn't have enough information to go back in, but one of the guys told me, he says, look, if you want to go there, just go. I go, how? He goes, go up to Ban Lung, work it out, and you'll find somebody that'll help you get up there. I said, okay, I will. The first time I went up, I realized I was out of shape to be going hiking 100 miles through the jungles. So we went back and I exercised. I would say I exercised maybe about a week, 2 weeks, got myself back in shape. It took us 10 days to get up there. We spent 3 days there and couldn't find anything. I got pieces of the jet to help give the family some closure. And on the third day, these guys came out of the bushes with AKs, wanted to know what we were doing there, and they had their AK on me. My guy that I hired, that was the province chief, he told me, he said, they want us out of here. They want us out of here tomorrow. We were going to leave the next day anyway. I took my pack and everything, and I put it on the raft. And we took the raft down, and what a beautiful trip that was, going down the river on this bamboo raft. When I was there, I worked with another guy from Stony Beach. He goes, Jim, I won't be able to hang out with you tomorrow. I'm going to go down and talk to the Vietnamese. I said, can I go with you? He goes, oh, it might not be a good idea. I says, they're down there looking for their people that were killed in that battle. They told them all those villages and all those hooches was a hospital. And that's where, when they got hit on the Ho Chi Minh Trail, when they're dropping the bombs, everybody that was wounded or injured, they would take them to that hospital. Nobody knew that was even there. And I said, well, let me draw you a map. So I drew a map. I said, tell them to check right here. And they went down. He gives them the map. He goes, he says, I'll show you this map. He said, one of the guys told me for you to check right here. He goes, where'd you get this map? He goes, well, the guys you were trying to kill back in 1970s up there looking for the pilots. And he goes, we've been hunting in that area. We found 127 remains. Still looking for over 100. Over 227 people killed. And how many died after? Who knows? I have no idea why they don't let you just go in and get the bodies out. Why deal with that, you know? Why deal with it? When you think about the people that were left behind and what they're going through, knowing that a country has given up on them, that's terrible. It's not a failed mission until you stop looking. I don't consider it a real failure, but the mission was to get the pilots out, and I couldn't get them out. The mission will be complete when they come back.